Scott, congratulations on another event. Let's start with the co-main event. Ryan Bader's homecoming spoiled by Corey Anderson in 51 seconds. What did you make of his performance?
I mean, it was a short fight. He got caught, and that was, once he got caught, that was it. I think that Corey timed it perfectly. But, it's something I was hoping we'd get to some more rounds out of the fight. But, this is MMA. Things happen extremely quick and fast, explosive. I think that's why people love mixed martial arts, because it is very explosive, and that's what you saw tonight with Corey.
Main event, Vadim Nemkov. Took a little bit longer, but he ultimately got the job done. Were you impressed with the champion's performance?
Yeah, when he got cut, I thought it was over. I really thought that, because it wasn't just a little shot. I mean, he got hit with a big shot, and I thought, okay, this fight's over. And, to his credit, he came back, fought smart, fought, I think, kind of started, when he started getting started getting him cut, and then he started getting some confidence. I think that that's what turned the tide, is, some of his ability to hurt the opponent. So I think that that's when you're the champ, you step up, and that's what he did.
October's a big month for the light heavyweight division, not only Bellator, but all of MMA. Corey was in here a little while ago, and he has wins over both men competing in the UFC's light heavyweight title fight at the end of this month. I know you've been very high on your light heavyweight division. Do you feel like, given the fact that Corey's past history with those fighters, and Vadim's obviously a really top-tier fighter as well, that fight will determine who the best 205-pounder on the planet is?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a gauntlet of 205ers, and whoever wins this tournament, to me, is the best 205er on the planet, period. That's how I feel.
This card, top to bottom, had a lot of violent finishes. It had a great fight between Carl and Dovs Yags, your friend there. Just curious, seeing all those, have you guys considered trying to put in like a fight of the night bonus or anything, maybe for some of these prelim guys that overperform?
I'll tell you, it's something that we've obviously, talked about it internally over for years, but we have a certain budget that we pay fighters, and it's a big budget. It's the biggest budget in the company, and we pay our fighters top dollar to perform, and so we take the championship. I mean, we take the bonuses out of it because we're already paying them like top dollar. So we're not skimming back and saying, okay, why don't we hold this to see if they perform as a bonus. We pay them as much as we can and pay them well. And I'm sure if you talk to some of our fighters, you'll hear the same thing: is that we pay extremely well here, and if they perform, they're going to go up, and it's really up to them at that point. But I feel good about it, and I actually talked to Josh Thompson about it. He has a very good feeling because of how we did it at Strikeforce, and we did the same here. We didn't have, fight of the night bonus because every single penny that we had budgeted for the year for fighting, we always paid out max. So, we just do it a different way.
The light heavyweight tournament's obviously been a big centerpiece for the promotion all throughout the year. A lot of challenges, a lot of people falling out, but you guys have been able to make it work. Now that we're at the finals, just what are your overall thoughts on how the tournament's played out and sort of where we're at with it?
I mean, the finals that we have now really is a fight that, I thought this could be the finals, right? Usually it could be Bader, and I thought Nemkov was going to win because, he's a champion that's been looking so good. He had a tough fight tonight, and so, I'm going to let him heal up for, let's say, a month or so, but I think we're going to start having a conversation in the next 30 days about when we'll have the finals. I personally would love to have finals sometime in late January, early February, and, let's give those guys time to heal up. Corey obviously doesn't need to heal up. His fight was very short, but I think Nemkov needs a little bit of rest time, and then we'll get it on.
What do you make sort of the state of the lightweight division now in Bellator? Obviously, we have the title fight coming up next. You had a big fight tonight with Primus and Bendo. Just overall thoughts on the state of the lightweight division and where it's headed now that we sort of have clarity with this title picture?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, with Patricio letting go of the belt and letting his brother and, Cooley fight for the belt in Ireland on the 5th of November, now that division is wide open, right? And Primus had a great fight tonight. I think he is going to be the number 1 contender, number 2 contender. And I think that he's going to be the next guy in line, whoever wins that fight. And there's other people coming up. There's a lot of talented kids. I mean, I look at a fighter who's young, give him a couple more fights, and I'm talking about Usman Nurmagomedov. He's a guy that is just growing. Every time I see him, he's just getting better and better and better. And there's a lot of really talented 155ers coming up that are really young, that I feel that are going to grow in the next 6 to 8 months, a year, and we're going to put them right in there. And now that the title's open, everybody's going to get their shot.
Both Benson and Brent were very open with their thoughts on the booking of the lightweight title fight. They felt like this should have been it tonight. Can you explain a little bit about just why it was Peter and why it was Pitbull and that sort of the direction you guys
Yeah,
went?
you know what? I mean, if you look at our rankings, the number one contender was Patricky. Was the number one contender, so we went with that. And you know, listen, when we negotiated this with Patricio, it was very clear. Like, you know, this is, I'm letting this go for my brother to have his shot. You know, and if the brother wins, he doesn't want to be the guy to fight his brother, right? So that's why he said, okay, I'll let it go. I'm gonna focus on 145. So, you know, but what I will say is, look, you know, now Primus will have a shot after this fight, and this fight's going to happen in a matter of weeks. But you know, come January, February, maybe we'll get it on again for the winner of the Quilly fight against Patricky could fight Primus at this point.
Hey Scott, congrats on a great card, top to bottom. So I'm looking at the prelims, which was a banger of a prelim. Maria Henderson, Sullivan Cauley, Jalen Bates, Lance Gibson, and Samiko Inaba all came in undefeated, all leave undefeated. So when you go back to your brain trust, who's the person that you're leaving this card feeling the best about from that group? Like that maybe they need a little more.
Need a little more. I mean, when I look at the talent that was fighting on the undercard, you know, the first thing I thought of is Benson Henderson, you know, coming, you know, like with the wife and really embracing her and then having that moment in the cage. What a special moment that was. And I know this was really important for his wife to fight and be on the same card with him, so it all happened. But that, to me, that was a special moment. And when I think about Yag's fight with Carl, man, that was an amazing fight. And honestly, if you were to ask me who was going to win that fight before it started, I thought that Yags might pull it off. But it was Carl's night, and it was just a you know, like amazing back and forth matchup. So to me, those two guys. And when I think about Henry Corrales, what a great performance he had. Kid he fought was super tough, and he brought it, and he was there to win. And Henry just, you know, he did what he had to do tonight. So to me, those are the fighters that really stuck out in my mind, other than the fights that are on, you know, the Benson Primus fight, and you know, Corey looked amazing, and Nemkov, he pulled it off. So, you know, my hat's off to him. But you know, the one thing when I think about the undercard of these fights, I mean, really, we're giving opportunities for some of these guys to really take the next step up, and that's really what we're doing. Is we're going to build the next talent, the next group. I'm really excited about Aaron Pico's fight coming up. I'm excited about Usman's fight coming up next week in Moscow. We have a lot of young kids that are super talented, male and female, and you know, we're going to build these guys over the next year, and then we'll start putting them to title contention. So that's our game plan.
Scott, Samiko Inaba was just mentioned right there, and she's got all finishes now in Bellator, looking great at flyweight, another great division of yours. Do you think she's ready for a step up, because she's performing very well out there?
Yeah, I thought she looked great. I thought she, you know, she did what she had to do, and I would say yes. I would say yes. So we'll go back. You know, traditionally I like to go back, huddle up with my team, and reshuffle the deck, so to speak. The rankings helps a lot when you guys vote for the rankings and the media puts their thoughts in. It's not always number one will fight, or the champion will fight number one or number two. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but for the most part, you know, we respect what the media comes out with as far as the rankings, but sometimes we're going to put out different types of fights or different fights that we feel that they deserve, you know, and I think she's going to, you know, be right in that mix, and you know, I think that she's got a bright future.
Hey Scott, Lance Gibson Jr. had a violent finish, and he believes he should be ranked next week. What do you think of him? He speaks well, he looks good, he has a really, really great personality. What are your thoughts on him?
Listen, he's a guy that we've identified from day one as a potential, you know, star in the sport, and that's why we signed him. And you know, let's see how he does. He might need a couple more fights. I think he's early in his career, but he's definitely on the right path. You know, but that first round I thought was pretty close. It wasn't like he dominated the whole fight and just took it to this kid. I mean, it was back and forth, and yeah, it ended the way it did. But you know, let's test him out a couple more times, and we'll go from there.
Scott, right here. You're obviously going to Dublin. You did London. You did Moscow. So you're clearly willing to travel. With a fighter like Vadim, who's Russian, and Corey, who obviously had ties to the New York area, New York has a massive Russian population. Would you think about putting that fight in an arena like Madison Square Garden?
That'd be interesting. I mean, we talked about taking that fight to the East Coast for sure. We talked about maybe Chicago. You know what? I think that maybe we would bring it back here. I mean, maybe we could run it back right here. I mean, to me, this is a great. Listen, these fans were amazing. They were loud. They were passionate. They knew their MMA. A lot of them came out to Bader, but I think Bader still has a heavyweight title to defend, right? So he's going to want to get back on that horse soon. But I mean, maybe that's a fight that we could make it a triple main event and really just bring a great fight card here and run it back here in Phoenix because it's quite the venue. The arena is beautiful. The people were friendly. It was really nice. It was just a great experience to be here in Phoenix, and we definitely want to come back.
During the summer.
Good point.
Iglesias was faced with a really tall order coming into this event, and like you mentioned earlier on, there was a moment in that first round where you thought this fight was over. So I was just wondering what your overall feelings were on his performance and how he showed out.
I feel like he didn't lose any stock tonight, in my opinion. He, like you said, he came in as an alternate, came in with a very tall order, using your words, and he was one punch away from knocking Nemkov out or taking him out, right? I mean, if he would hit him one more bomb, I think it would have been over. Nemkov, to his credit, is a tough guy, and he's got an amazing chin, and I think he just outwilled him today, but I think that when I think about this fight, it's like the early rounds could have went in any direction, right? And then the later rounds were definitely for Nemkov, but I don't think he lost any stock, in my opinion, and we're going to put him back in soon. And when he's ready, we're going to put him back in. We'll keep testing this kid because he's no joke, man. This guy could bring it.
When you have a card the same night as the UFC, are you even worried about them?
Honestly, I didn't even know they had a card tonight. And so that's the truth. And I focus on our business. I focus on what we're doing. I think we're doing some great things. I said in July 31st, we had a reboot of Bellator, which was the AJ fight against Pitbull. And that was the first time we had a live audience with fans. We went to San Jose, went to London. London was a smash here. I think it was a smash. I mean, I think we're back at doing what we do best and being back on the road and promoting great fights. And I think that's what we did tonight.